Namaste. The name is Timothy Halloran. The date is January 5th, 2016. That's a Tuesday. And it's getting chilly out here in Savannah. I got my hat on. And it's just in time for the Capricorn season, I think, to really kick off. And we've got a rather unusual and unique and exciting January ahead of us. There's a lot of stuff even going on today. So today we've got the Sun conjunct Pluto. This might be a little more intense of a video with that going on. We also have Mercury at 1 degree Aquarius, station, turning retrograde. And Mercury will remain retrograde through the rest of the month, majorly in the sign of Capricorn. Mercury is going to move back into Capricorn this Friday. Today we also have Venus square to Neptune, and there's a little bit of challenging our core values. What are our values and compared to our ideals? Can we make things better in a practical way, in a grounded way? Can we develop an inner strength that can really take us forward, that can make us feel more secure in our relationships and feel all the more connected to our own values? What is my truth? What is my journey? What is my exploration is going on here? And Venus is going to move up and approach Saturn this Friday. So there is a structuring, there is a forming of these values, of this underlying structuring and inner strength that will really carry us forward. And then on Saturday, we have a new moon at 19 degrees Capricorn. And this new moon will be trine to the moon's north node in Jupiter, square to Uranus, and square to Black Moon Lilith. So there's a lot happening this week. This new moon in Capricorn, I feel, is very telling in terms of us setting new intentions for new structures. But we have this Mercury retrograde happening simultaneously. And Mercury is right now in Aquarius, square to Mars in Scorpio. And Mars just moved into Scorpio on Sunday. And Mars in Scorpio is much more our instinctual desires. Yeah, Sun conjunct Pluto today. Mars just moved into Scorpio. Stuff's feeling more real. There's more intensity now. We're having real conversations. We're talking about core issues right now. And maybe a little bit of Mercury at this 1 degree is Aquarius, square to Mars. There is a propensity for us to get a little ahead of ourselves here. I think, you know, Mercury frozen at 1 degree Aquarius. This first degree of Aquarius is a liberating degree. The movement from Capricorn to Aquarius is majorly this bust out of the box, from out of limitations into infinite possibilities. And Mercury is moved into Aquarius. We want to explore, we want to be excited, we want to be overstimulated. Maybe we've got things figured out, but we've got a month of Mercury retrograde majorly in the sign of Capricorn happening. So we've got to talk about this. Mercury square to Mars right now maybe wants to get our desires. You know, Mars in Scorpio is our core instinctual desires. Whether or not we want to have these desires, we have them. Whether or not they're glamorous or not, it doesn't matter. We all have primordial, instinctual, sometimes animalistic desires. And Mars in Scorpio is happy there. Mars loves to do what he wants, and this is what I want, and it's this kind of primordial intensity that's really active, it's powerful, it's really going for us right now. But this Mercury in Aquarius is maybe saying, oh, maybe we can get my desires out through doing this kind of, you know, we're going to get ahead of ourselves, we're going to join this club, we're going to join this new Aquarius sexual journey club, and this is going to bring our relationship closer together. Or maybe, you know, Mercury is saying, you know, oh, okay, we're going to experiment with this, this, and this, we're going to bring some excitement into the bedroom. Mars in Scorpio wants to let this inner side out, and this is going to repair our relationship, this is going to make me feel all the more secure. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to interconnect with so many people in order for me to feel good, in order for me to feel in my power. So I'm going to do this, this, and this. And Mercury is about to begin a journey majorly into the past. Whenever Mercury retrograde happens, this is a journey into the past. We get this strange nostalgia, and the reels and the memories start to replay. We start to re-examine our past memories, our associations to past friends, etc. particularly in the sign of Capricorn, and we've got the new moon in Capricorn coming up as well. There is even more of a look into tradition, into cultural structures. I mean, we're really looking into the past this time around. And this isn't your stereotypical Mercury retrograde either, because there's actually going to be hardly any signs, any planets in air signs. So the only planet in air sign right now is Mercury, and Friday, Mercury moves back into Capricorn. So we've got this new moon that's trine to Jupiter in the North Node and Virgo. It's very Earth-centric right now. We do have some fire and water stuff going on with Sagittarius, Pisces, and Scorpio, but it's very Earth-centric. As we replay the reels, as we go back in time, we're really digging deep into structures, into practical understandings of the mechanisms of life. And this is going to bring us into the core of the issues. So right now we are confronting, oh, okay, this is what we can do. I want to release this. This is, some desires and so on. And Mercury is about to do his own exploration. And we're about to get into the core issues that are here. Maybe we can't just go off and join the club and interconnect with a whole bunch of people thinking that that's going to liberate us if all of the discussions and all the interactions are not going to discuss the core issues that maybe I'm not even conscious of, that are still operating within me. Insecurities, fears, desires that I'm not totally aware of. Maybe our experimentation in the bedroom is more of a synthetic cover-up of the type of intimacy that I want to feel, the type of freedom, the type of exploration. These are just examples, and they're somewhat superficial examples. But this is giving us an idea of the fact that we're going to get much deeper than this in the future. As Mercury is going to go retrograde, remain retrograde in Capricorn up through January 25th, and then turn direct conjunct Pluto. We've got Pluto transiting the sign of Capricorn, which is very, very relevant, because Pluto is about to approach his own south node at 19 degrees Capricorn. I'm sorry, 20 degrees Capricorn. The new moon is conjunct Pluto's south node. And the Sabian symbol for this new moon is, through the empty church, a choir is heard rehearsing. Now this has to do with tradition. It has to do with structures. Obviously we're talking about an organizational structure here of the church. And there is something nostalgic here. There is some beauty here. There is a rehearsal. Even in the vast, empty structure of your typical Catholic church, there is this eerie light of the choir. And this is inspiration for us in the darkness. This is an opportunity for us to not throw the baby out with the bathwater as we challenge and change past traditions. And that's going to be the focus of today's video. As this new moon, 19 degrees Capricorn, conjunct Pluto's south node, is a real opportunity for us to see way in the past. We're talking scary old patterns that have been repeating for a long, long time. We are looking into these patterns, these repetitions, these structures, and we are having the opportunity to set new structures, new rituals, new doctrines, new traditions, new cultural, family structures of how we celebrate, of what we believe in, and how we hierarchically organize our life and educate ourselves and provide. And so, with Mercury now about to turn retrograde back into Capricorn, we're having all of these memories start to come back us of these nostalgia for traditions and the past, and simultaneously we are seeing how much these old traditions have been limiting. I don't know if any of you viewers are familiar with the experience of a deja vu, but it's like a deja vu on steroids, where you feel like, oh my God, I've done this not only before, I've done this before innumerable times. And you just get that feeling of the ancientness of the repetition. Now, I'm not a personal believer of the fire and brimstone lava and devil with horns definition of hell. But I am a firm believer of that repetitive, again and again, the same old thing, and you just keep coming back, and you just keep coming back, and you just keep coming back. That, for me, is a personal experience of hell. Hell is us being limited to something, and then it doesn't change. And we just go back, and we're stuck there, and we're stuck there, and the energy is blocked, and the energy is blocked. And we call this prison. Okay? And prison is a Capricorn word. All right? And as we review some of these traditions, some of these structures, some of these cultural beliefs, we are being reminded of how limiting they have been. And so many of us are going back and we are revisiting personal prisons, and they do not have to necessarily feel like this, though. That's probably the most interesting part of this, is I see this Mercury at 1 degree Aquarius. We're going to go all the way back down to Pluto, and we've got Saturn square to Neptune, challenging our fundamental beliefs. Well, there is a comfort in prison. There is a comfort, I should say, in what we have done forever and ever and ever, because it's known to us, it's familiar. And so many of us, it's this interesting nostalgia, and Capricorn has these sentiments, but they are sentiments as they are associated to things, to places, to material objects or traditions, like, oh, when our family does this, the cruise, etc. It's structured, it's physical. So there is this familiarity and comfort there. So when we see the doors open and the opportunity is there for us to do something new, for us to initiate change, for us to initiate new structures, there is oftentimes hesitancy. As when you are a prisoner in prison for life and we identify with the prisoner, this is who I am. I mean, all of these interesting subconscious things happen. You identify with the guards and other prisoners as your family, and also there is this idealizing of what lies beyond. Oh, well, on the outside of prison, everything is made out of cotton candy and gumdrops, and our ideals of what lies beyond the boundaries of what we know are oftentimes very glamorous. They're almost light. They're almost a fluorescent, synthetic color. Yeah, when we fantasize, when we imagine things, it's usually just light. It's usually just a picture. And then when the door of the prison actually opens and reality is there before us, directly in front of us, it's overwhelming. Because it's not just our imagination and not just fantasy. All of this information is pouring through. You have your senses, not just your smell, but your sight, but what you hear and all these things. And the real world comes flooding in. And it may not be what we imagined. And so it's very easy for us to feel at this particular time like we've got one foot in prison, which is our past reals, our comfort zones, our traditions, our past beliefs. And one foot is outside of prison in the unknown, mysterious, and overwhelmingly complex world that we have not yet explored. And may be, in fact, a little more real and a little less ideal than we have previously imagined when we were sitting in our cell. And so with one foot in prison, one foot out, we don't know exactly where to go. Where am I going to be happiest? Where am I going to be comfortable? So this is a very interesting time, I think. I think many of us can have difficulties in terms of seeing what delusions we don't want to let go of as we are getting ushered out the door. Many of us are reaching our upper limits of, well, I didn't know that the door was going to open right now, so I'm not prepared for this, so can you please close the door for a better time? Or, I didn't do anything to deserve the door to be open right now, so I can't step through. I would feel guilty to step through the door if I didn't do it because I earned it or deserved it, etc., etc. And with Jupiter on the Moon's North Node, as we talked in last week's video, the opening and the enlightenment and the awakening The realization that can be happening right now is in a remarkably mundane way. Like, oh, I thought I had to jump through this many hoops and then do this spiritual ritual in order to feel that good. And it's just like, well, actually, you need to go see the doctor. You need to drink more water. You need to sleep differently. Oh, well, I felt better than I've never felt before. So what do we automatically do is let's get rid of the doctor. Let's go back to the old sleep schedule, and we get rid of all the little mundane things that are making us feel too good because we feel overwhelmed. It's like the prison door is open. The whole world is there, and it's overstimulating to us. Let's close down these doors, is some of the feelings that we can be experiencing with this one. And yet there is the opportunity for us to go back into the past, see what is comfortable there, see what our ideals are, what our goals are, or what our goals used to be. Maybe our goals have changed, and that's okay. Maybe our goals are changing, and that's okay. This is evolution. But going back into the past is also okay. And as we go back into the past and we review what our old desires and comfort zones were, let's find the underlying value in these things. Maybe when we were a prisoner in the cell and we had all these ideals of what we were going to go out there and do, and it's not totally realistic, well, there is something inherently in that that is what we want. So we do want to continue. We just don't want to delude ourselves chasing the superficial or synthetic apparition of what we're actually looking for. And so this is Venus and Sag moving up to Saturn and square to Neptune, is that we can have this kind of maturing during this time. And next week, Venus squares Chiron in Pisces. So we need to mature. This is like a core value, and it's innocent. It's okay. In our relationships, this is what our core values are, and so we give ourselves permission to explore and celebrate. Let's celebrate what our core values are by stripping off all the stupid superficial wrapping paper that covers it. That is the essence of what's going on this month. Is let's get rid of all the plastic bows and covers and everything that's just increasing the unwrapping time. Let's get rid of the prolonging the unwrapping time and just get to the frickin' thing that you want. In essence. And we may not have it immediately, but there might be a goal there. I want to feel closer to you. I want to feel that I have a purpose. I want to feel that I am living in such a way where I am providing my truth. My truth gives me structure. Recently, the energy has not made us all feel totally connected and totally, oh, this is my truth, all done. This is a time where our truth is beckoning us deeper and deeper and further. So let's find these core values, and then let's make our future the exploration of these core values. It doesn't have to be the maybe getting there instantly or defining it instantly or making the world perfect instantly or saving everybody instantly, but there is some core values there. So we're all being reminded of the distant, distant past with this new moon in Capricorn conjunct Pluto's own south node. Pluto's own south node is an extremely slow-moving collective direction. We're all taking a look into our own past prisons, and every soul on this planet at this time in some way is experiencing limitations and prison-like nature coming from the past. This is the opportunity for us to go into the past, go into our prisons, and this is not necessarily a comforting time. Many of us may feel this slipping back into the past as, oh no, I'm doing something wrong, and we have to be reminded that this is natural. And as we go back into the past, we are reminded of what core values comes out of this nature. This is what I cherish from this time. This is what I've learned from this time. This is what I take with me forward from this time. We do not throw the baby out with the bath water. We become more strong by making our more values sometimes more simple. And this is what me and you do together. Me and you value to explore. So we go off and we explore this stuff. It doesn't have to be that we do ritualistically the same things or we all have the same desires, this and that. It's that we share some of the most fundamental values. And so as we go into the past, let's remember that this is exploration. This is not a sentence for committing some crime. This is an opportunity for us to go back into our past prisons and learn about ourselves, our story, our values, but then set new environments, new traditions, new cultures, new ways of doing things in the future that is simultaneously liberating us from the confines of the past, from the redundant restrictiveness of this is how it is, this is the only way it's ever going to be. And understand that, well, it's not about the form which holds us, it's about the essence within it. And that essence is what I harbor, that essence is what I give myself to. This year, 2016, is a very hard year for people who are stubbornly clinging on to old beliefs and traditions, as if they know everything and that's what life is. Oh, I have a PhD in physics, so physics is the only thing that there is. I can observe everything in physics, I can measure everything in physics, so your mind must be physics, your emotions might be physics. Oh wait, I can't use physics to evaluate my emotions. I guess emotions aren't real. They don't exist. No explanation for it in physics. You know, it's like we all have these ways of looking and defining, and we just need to broaden these. And there is something to value in physics. There is some incredible intelligence and observations that can be made using that lens. But if we make it simpler than I have a PhD in physics and we took it back to I am an observant individual. I observe all phenomena with love and focused awareness. What if that was the motto of the scientist? So that way, when my emotions arise, when my mind arises, when the circumstances arises, I lovingly observe. If we can take it back to the simple core values, it's thoroughly liberating to us, because now we can still be into what we're into, we can still learn, we can still grow, we can be intelligent, we can revolutionize new ways of seeing and understanding the world by taking what we value and then letting it run its course, letting it run the ship, letting it provide this inner flame for us, this inner warmth, this inner strength. That way we don't be deluded when, oh, well, I have this perspective that comes from this book, and so when somebody else's perspective from somebody else's book is read, I have to get defensive because that can't be true. It's outside of my prison. You see? This is the opportunity for us to see, oh, well, this isn't prison anymore because this is the essence, this is the value, and I can take it anywhere. I can go into any building, any church, any organization, any country, any culture, and it remains just as much a fuel to the fire. So this was a bit of an intense video. The camera shut off a couple times, so I hope that I managed to say what I needed to. Sun's conjunct Pluto today. We're going through an evolutionary update. There's some intensity, there might be a death and rebirth, and our identity, our chariot, our way of doing things, our way of interacting in the world has the opportunity to restructure, to redefine itself. This Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a new moon, 19 degrees Capricorn, square to Uranus. We are revolutionizing old values, old traditions, old structures, but we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. That new moon is trine to Jupiter and the moon's north node in Virgo. We have a real opportunity to do this in revolutionarily mundane ways. Little adjustments here and there. I eat better, I sleep better, and I feel more blissful than I've ever felt before. My upper limit gets reached. I feel like I don't deserve to feel this good because I'm just doing little simple things. I didn't save anybody's life, but it's okay. We keep doing it. This is how we improve our lives and other people's over time. So let's get into it. My love goes out to you and your beloveds. Namaste.